Welcome, Star Wars fans. Here we talk about all things Star Wars with rumors, facts, news, and random shenanigans. Get ready and strap into your Millennium Falcon. This is the Force Choke Podcast.
All right, everybody, and welcome to episode 90 of the Force Choke Podcast. Did I start too soon?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. Today we're going to be missing Tim. He's got work, his day job, and we have with us today Sarah, Micah, and myself, Lewis. We are the council, and we are excited for another podcast here today, creeping closer and closer to 100 episodes. Maybe we'll do some giveaways. I know we got May the 4th coming around. Usually we do giveaways then too. Today we're April 21st, 2021. We want to thank everybody for liking, subscribing, and listening to us, commenting. Right now you can, watch anything we have on all your social medias: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio. So if you want to listen to great Star Wars talk and maybe some controversial stuff as well, some spicy stuff, follow us, like us, comment, and subscribe, and tell us what you think, whether you like us or you don't like us. Learn to love us because we're here to stay. All right, let's get into it, guys. The first thing that we want to talk about, or I'd like to talk about, is what I was just saying. There's some social media interaction, and this is actually from a page on Instagram called Star Wars Fan Page. So they posted something about liking the High Republic, and then somebody commented, and I'm just gonna guess because this is really long. Thom Discsman. I don't know. I totally butchered that, but
can you use that in a sentence?
Oh, yeah, right. He commented, "The High Republic is another shit stain on the Star Wars universe." And Star Wars Fan Page, who he commented on their page, they just said, nah. Somebody else commented, "I mean, it's not really Knights of the Old Republic, but then nothing is. I like some of the designs and ideas, though." Somebody else commented,
Somebody's a Geode fan.
Obviously. What's that?
I said somebody's a Geode fan.
I know, right? Somebody else commented, obviously somebody hasn't read the books. Silly boy. And then I commented, we've read the books and the comics. Calling it a shit stain is actually being nice. We've considered it a parody now just to be able to stomach it. And then somebody commented off of that, Aquildia, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to just say Aquildia, asks, how is it a parody? I said, because if it's not, it's just horrible writing. And we want Star Wars to be good. The only way this is good is if it's a parody. So I'm going to let you guys comment on this next thing that Aquildia commented. They said, what's wrong with the writing? Look at Sarah's face. What's wrong with the writing, guys?
It's bad. The writing is bad.
It's not good.
That's all I got. It's what's wrong with it? It's not. Yeah, it's bad. Bad writing. It's uninteresting. It's boring.
I mean, we've had
lackluster.
Yeah.
Synonyms. I could pull out a thesaurus and just keep going, but it's bad.
Yeah. And this is what I commented. I said, there's too many things to name here. We've read Light of the Jedi, all the High Republic comics, part of Into the Dark. We almost gave up on all of it until we realized we can consider it a flop or a parody. Yeah. We chose parody. Aquildia continues and says, well, what's the worst thing about the writing?
Jesus. Have they read it? Aquildia?
I don't know. I didn't ask that. And so I go on to say, they are all of relatively the same kinds of bad. It starts with the premise of how the great disaster happened and takes a nosedive into mediocrity after that, on and on and on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so Equidia says, well, how is a great disaster written badly? You talking about the logic of it or the believability of the dialogue? What do you guys think?
Can I say E, all the above? I
Yeah.
mean, is he looking? That's I don't know. It's just like, is he looking for you to say this one sentence in the whole book just kind of fuck it
Yeah.
for me? Like, I don't get it.
Well, let's continue because this goes on
Oh
just
my
for a little
God.
bit,
Okay.
and then it'll come to an abrupt end here. So I say
An
both of the
abrupt
things.
end.
It
Okay. Sorry.
literally doesn't make sense. A military mind behind the wheel of the Legacy Run, and you don't drop out of hyperspace to save the lives on a 100-plus-year-old ship? Question mark? Give me a break. Even Geo the Rock knew to drop out of hyperspace. It's lazy. It's bad. It's a parody or a flop. You can decide on your own. Equidia goes on to say, what's wrong with a former military commanding a colonist ship? And there's only 10 seconds for her to react to something that hadn't happened before in Star Wars. So I'm pretty sure she knew that even if she had dropped out of light speed, they would have hit the object anyway.
That's not how it works. I said at this point, it just sounds like they're just trolling you.
Yeah,
It's
So go
yeah.
ahead, sir.
No, I was gonna say it's almost as if they're like putting what's wrong with and then copying everything that you just said and like
Yeah,
pasting it down underneath.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I responded, if you like the story and it can accept the major flaws in it, kudos to you. 10 seconds to a veteran in any job should be adequate time. Enjoy the High Republic. We'll call a duck a duck. Let's see.
That's it.
Then
Okay.
Equidia comes back and
Okay.
says, you still didn't answer the question why a vet can't command a colonist transport. And like I said, she knew they'd hit the ship even if they dropped out of hyperspace. I go on to say, that's not how space works in Star Wars. Laughing emoji. Like I said, please go enjoy the High Republic at your leisure. They go on to say,
Oh
yes, it
God,
is.
stop.
Meaning that's how hyperspace works and
Please stop.
how space works in Star Wars. What were you going to say, Sarah?
No, just they should stop. People will argue on social medias
Yeah.
for anything, and this is one of those cases. But please
Yeah.
continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So Aquadia says, yes, that is the way that space works. Without precise coordinates, if you drop out of hyperspace, you're not going to just stop instantly as soon as you press whatever button is used to disengage. If you dropped out of hyperspace, the Legacy Run would still need time to decelerate, and it'd be on trajectory towards the Nihil ship. By then, it would have fully exited hyperspace, too close to be able to steer clear of it, and you still didn't answer the first question with
What
a
the
rolling
fuck are
eyes
they
emoji.
talking about? God damn.
I think they're still
How?
stuck on what's bad about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I said,
How
oh,
dare you
don't
say this is bad? How fucking dare you?
I know, right? I said, don't need to answer the first question. You like it, go like it. If you don't get how space works, good for you. You bought into the trash they are selling. Clapping emoji. Good day.
I said good day.
Aquadia comes back and says, I mean, if all you gotta say is that's not how fill in the blank works and nothing else, then that's not much reason to hate the High Republic. And my response was, I said, have a good day. Conversation ends.
You're supposed to put sir on there.
I said good
Well, then
day.
again, I guess you technically speaking don't necessarily know if they're a sir, so
Yeah, true.
That's
we don't want to
But
mislabel anyone here in the Star Wars fandom.
So yeah, that was some of the interaction there between. Of course, I was representing the Force Joke podcast there, and wow, very, very. It's not like they even said that they liked the High Republic. I think, like you said, they were possibly just trolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
I just,
I thought that
yeah,
was kind of interesting.
I just don't. Something that I think we've seen, kind of talking about this since started covering it, the High Republic. It's just this mitigated response to as soon as someone hears, not even that someone talking shit about it. It's like as soon as you start to critique it, it's like you're not a fan. It's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, I've read this. I'm having trouble with it. Oh, I just finished the book. It's like
No,
I can't
it's
read. You can't expect
bad.
someone to to listen, to read the entire thing if it's not that good. Like you're already
Yeah.
getting benefits out of Star Wars. Like, okay, I'm gonna try to get through as much as I can. But it's just at some point, if a book is not good, you're gonna be like, fuck it, I'm not finishing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something that is just like a 2 hour movie. It's like, okay, that was bad.
Yeah.
This takes a little bit more time to do that. And then from that, it just again like someone just simply critiquing the High Republic is like people being like, pounced on like you're not a Star Wars fan. Like I don't get that. It's like this isn't good stuff. I don't like it. And it's just like this weird I'm trying to think of I don't know what the name of it is. But I don't know, it's just this weird defense of it that you
Yeah.
just simply have
It's
spoken out.
almost I think you've brought it up before, Micah, kind of like this blindness to whether it's good or bad. It's Star Wars, so I'm gonna like it. But that shouldn't be the case. If it's not good, we need to call it out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no reason to say like, oh, it's good just because you slapped Star Wars across it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, there's been some novels in the past, even what we call legends now, that back, in the 90s and late 80s, where I was kind of like, that novel it's all right. It wasn't great, but it's Star Wars, but it was okay. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if we had this podcast back then, I would have critiqued it in that way. You know what I mean? Not everything that's gonna come out of it is gonna be extraordinary. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think us just being honest, some people just don't like to hear that. It seems like,
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah. So
I mean, because
I think
we would have had to, it had to be either good or we would have had to really like it to get into Star Wars to begin with.
yeah,
It's kind of like these things continue with your money and your time and you talking about it and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's like if there's ever a time not to talk about something because something's not good, enter High Republic, cue the High Republic into this. I don't know. It's just again this. Yeah, I know we've talked about it time and time again, and still we just get those weird comments. It's like,
yeah,
did you read it? Like, what other books do you like? Like what other
yeah,
movies
Yeah.
are you participating in like that kind of fandom stuff? It's like,
yeah.
give me your list of do's and don'ts kind of thing because you're all over the place, trying to defend this fucking piece of shit.
And I
Both
really want to put out there also for people who listen to us that our team does not have a hive mind mentality. We're all very much individuals, and we have argued points of things that we like and dislike with each other on this show in the past before. It's odd that Micah, Sarah, Tim, and myself all are like, just shit on the High Republic. None of us have enjoyed practically any of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think that
Except,
that has to say a lot. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, so talk about, saying a lot of stuff. In the news, Ryan Johnson's all over the place recently about he's going to have a Star Wars trilogy. He's even come out to say he was going to direct some of the episodes in Mandalorian season 2, but he just didn't have time because he was writing and scripting Knives Out Part 2.
I got an idea. Sorry, go ahead.
Now he's saying that he wants to direct every episode of The Mandalorian season 3 if they would let him. What do you guys think of that?
I think he's too busy. Doesn't he have a lot of stuff going on?
Even if he wasn't too busy, that man would fuck it up. With his own, if giving him his own direction, like from what was been an established narrative with the season 2 and season 1. What if he is what if he's the sleeper spy sent by Kathleen Kennedy to come destroy Mandalorian season 3 for taking away notoriety from the High Republic? I authorize you go in there and you make a good movie or a good series, Ryan Johnson. Okay. And then everyone fucking hates it afterwards. Except for the people who are just like, oh yeah, Star Wars, it's my thing. I'll defend it till the end. That would be hilarious. But no, I don't. I hope he doesn't. No, he needs. He already burned that. No, he needs to stay the fuck away from Star Wars IP from going forward.
What do you think, Sarah? You said that you think he's too busy, but let's say he found the time to direct every episode of The Mandalorian like he wants to.
I don't think that's plausible. No, he should keep going. Keep doing what he's doing. Stay away from Mando.
Knives Out was good. Yeah, just continue with that and leave us alone.
Somebody needs to keep him busy.
Yeah.
Sarah says, write another Knives Out Part 3.
Yeah. Yeah. You can go.
I mean, technically, they are working on a Knives Out 2 and 3 through a Netflix deal, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, keep doing that. Knives Out was great.
He's like the dog. He's like the dog that's annoying.
Here. Go
That's
on.
right, Lando. No, he comes up. Hey, I'm ready to play again. You take the ball and like throw it as far as you can, like fucking go
over
away
the
from
fence.
Me. Yeah, he's like,
just
okay,
instantly ruining it. Yeah.
He's
like, okay, bye.
Comes back, like fucking ball again.
You guys are funny. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're kind of out on Ryan Johnson touching Star Wars, at least for the time being, right? Okay, so I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that real quick. We're going to move on from Ryan Johnson and none too soon, but we're going to talk about a couple of well, first let me rewind that. Recently Star Wars announced their first transphobic non-binary characters in the High Republic, which are the twins, Tarek and Sarek. I don't know if you're familiar with them, Sarah. They're the two bald twins that kind of like feel each other.
Were they the ones that were like they were lost in the barley cave thing, and then they were going to become the plant people? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Right. So
transgender?
They're transgender and a non-binary. So we're really not going to focus on that part, but specifically a website called Comic Sans claims that Star Wars fans are melting down over the comic book featuring trans non-binary Jedi Sarek and Tarek. But that's not the important part. The important part is this. That Comic Sans goes on to say the High Republic series contains several, I don't know what all this is, but LGBTQIA2S plus characters. I don't know what the rest of those things are. I'm sorry, but I'll have to research that. So let me reread that again. The High Republic series this is what they claim. The High Republic series contains several LGBTQIA2S plus characters.
Okay.
So let me ask you guys specifically, what time frame does the High Republic happen? They're saying what?
2021.
Right, exactly. But in the Star Wars timeline, it's what, 200 years before um the prequels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I just wanted to get a bearing on that first. Sarah, you look like you're doing a little research there.
So I'm just, according to Google, the
Uh-huh.
almighty Google, LGBTQIA2S plus means lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and or questioning, intersex, asexual, two-spirit, and etc. or other.
You say a spirit?
Asexual to comma space to spirit.
Two spirit.
Yes.
I don't
So
know what that means,
I
but
just think it's a more inclusive acronym for uh, this community
okay. All right.
because everybody deserves to be included,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So a more inclusive acronym.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, right, going on. Thank you for doing that, Sarah, because I didn't know
Yeah,
what those
I didn't
the
either.
rest. I knew part, like half of that. I didn't know what the rest was.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Comic Sans and their claims that there are other part of this community in the High Republic series. Once again, the High Republic happens about 250 years before the prequels. They claim that some of the characters in the High Republic that are, of this community include Lando Calrissian, who has confirmed that he's pansexual. Now, Han Solo and Lando Calrissian happened during the age of the Empire, which was almost 300 years after the High Republic.
I see your point.
They're saying Lando Calrissian is part of the High Republic. Another character, Shelley Afra, who is Dr. Afra.
Real quickly, is this you pulling from this? Was this like a post on Instagram, or is this just an article that just was
This
out
was
there in the
actually an
ether?
article from their website.
So they don't have comments allowed?
Yeah, I would want to pull comments from there, but there was not comments allowed on that website. I would have gone to their Instagram page and called them out, but I think I would have probably brought some rain of fire on the Force Choke podcast, saying probably against that community in a way. So I kind of kept our mouth shut in that aspect for the time being. But I'm just pointing out the inaccuracies that Lando Calrissian was not in the High Republic, was not even born yet, not even close to that
Not even
time
a twinkle.
Exactly. Dr. Afra was during the reign of the Empire, worked for Darth Vader. Darth Vader, being older than Dr. Afra, was not even born yet either to be in the High Republic. And also Sana Saros as well, they claim. She's a character that claimed to be married to Han Solo. So she was not in the High Republic either. She was during the reign of the Empire, which happened 250 years after the High Republic. So all these characters that they're claiming that are part of this community are not even born yet during the High Republic, yet they claim that there's all these community members in the High Republic. So why are fans
that everybody's all melting down about
these two characters? What's the big deal? So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on that. The inaccuracies, because they claim to be Star Wars fans. I mean, just the inaccuracies of that just seem, if you are a Star Wars fan, when these characters
Yeah.
are in the timeline, you know?
I think maybe they were just trying to find other examples to prove a weird point, and that's all they could come up with. That's my 2 cents.
Micah, what do
Micah?
you think, man?
Do I want to get us canceled or not? That's what I'm thinking.
I
Um,
want
I
to
mean,
hear what
who's
your thoughts
melting
are.
down though?
I just like 2 points, right?
Yeah,
First point covering the whole like trying to like it's like they're trying to validate something, by listing out these iconic characters like Lando, right? To almost like validate their point, things that have been there in the past. But we've seen someone argue fairly publicly, from the writers and the people making decisions for the High Republic, that they almost don't like the originals. Like they speak down about it, they speak ill of it. Um, they didn't even like the Mandalorian, the Mandalorian season 2 finale, because it was taking away from the pomp and circumstance of the introduction of the first novel for the High Republic, and so it seems weird that they're going to use things from you know, the original story, to validate their point, to make it seem like, well, of course these people are part of it too, like you can't like them without liking us. That's just a kind of, I don't know, to me a very weird uh, way to try to say, hey, you have to like us, because of
yeah,
this. Secondly, it has nothing to do with respecting or inclusion or anything like that. Of course, I think that first and foremost, of course, yes, everyone should be known as themselves. But my simple takeaway from it is short of the little bit that we get of Lando being pansexual and the Han Solo movie, right? Really, before Disney, sexuality has nothing to do with these Star Wars characters.
yeah. And I think we touched a little bit on that from Into the Darkness, right? About Geode talking about sex
Yeah.
I
in Star
wasn't,
Wars. There's
yeah,
no need for it.
yeah, I wasn't here for that particular episode, so I
Oh,
might
that's
be talking to a brick wall, if you will, or a wall made of stone. But not funny, guys. Okay, I get it.
A
Um,
flaky
but
stone on the
yeah, but
face.
it's just like for everyone to be who they are, like it just seems weird to me, in a franchise, in a universe, just that it's like you have to be validated by that idea,
yeah,
like in what you like or desire. And again, that's just to me, I've never seen that represented in Star Wars before Disney, but even
yeah,
then, not even in like the movies, like really, except for with the exception of the mention of Lando in the Solo movie. And and I think even at the time, we're all like, we're not entirely sure why that's relevant. Like we get it, like because
yeah,
L3, like his strong connection with his robot with L3, but
yeah,
even then, like that, we even at the time we're like, what is this about? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the only reason sex has ever been a conversation in Star Wars, and it hasn't been, but the only time it's ever been a conversation in Star Wars is because, okay, well, who is Luke and Leia? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well, they're the son and daughter of Darth Vader, of Anakin Skywalker. Well, how does that happen? Did the stork, come sailing across the vacuum of space to deliver kids? No. It's
yeah,
reproduction. But again, that short of making that mention that Anakin fell in love with Padme and they had, children, it's never been a conversation. And I
yeah.
just don't and I just feel like that's a weird timing to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Um because it's I don't again, it's not that people shouldn't be loved and respected for who they are, but it just seems like, to push that forward now,
Yeah,
especially through I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
And I don't know if that's a loose segue that the writers of the High Republic are trying to do. Like another way, like how do we invalidate Star Wars fans' criticisms of our material if they don't agree with what the direction we're going with, especially for a hot-bedded topic, a controversial topic, for even mentioning it? Like, is this a way to like silence people, or say that these are bad people because they don't agree with that direction? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what their motives are behind that. You know?
I think as all of us, and this is just my opinion on that part, because I brought it up more for the fact of the inaccuracies of the article. You know what I mean? But I think that if you think about the Star Wars universe, I think just about everybody, except for the group of the Empire itself, who were, I guess, what you would call Homo sapien supremacists, because they didn't like any aliens within the Empire, except for one, which was Grand Admiral Thrawn. Um, I think pretty much everybody in the Star Wars universe, I guess you would be considered pansexual because there's aliens all over the place.
Yeah.
And even like Maz Kanata, like Chewbacca. I mean, those are two
Where's my boyfriend?
interspecies. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I would think, understood, especially as you get older. You're like, okay, there's all these aliens running around. Some of them look humanoid. Some of them have different ideas, thoughts, and values. And usually that's what people fall in love with, other people's values, thoughts, and, commonalities. So, I mean, it doesn't need to be brought to the forefront and pushed in everybody's face. You know what I mean? But that's my take on that part. All right. So let's move on to the next thing.
No. It's just, I think they're trying to get people stirred up. I think this website, Comic Sans, is trying to get people talking
By the
and
way,
attention.
sorry, go on.
And I don't think, I mean, is it necessary to assign a gender to a character? I mean, yes, with pronouns and everything, it's kind of there, but if it's written, like if a book is written and they just use the character's name, a gender isn't really necessary, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of aliens whose gender we don't know, right? I mean, in all of the books, it doesn't specifically like list, okay, alien this is their name, this is their gender, this is the other gender that they prefer, this is the species that they
Yeah.
prefer, what have you.
Yeah.
I
Very.
don't I don't know. That's sorry. That
Because
was what I was
you can
thinking.
take the Dren gear, for instance, right? It got split in half and was made into two different Dren gear. Would one be female, one be male, or is it asexual, or is it
Yeah.
something that we've never even heard of? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, there's all kinds of things happening in the Star Wars universe. Some things that we've probably never even heard of before. I
Yeah.
mean, there's even shapeshifters in the Star Wars universe. Is that shapeshifter a male, female, asexual? Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably can't even be described by our scientific, you know, I guess ecology. You know what I mean? That we know here
Yeah.
in on Earth. You know what I mean? So, but I think we should continue to the next topic, and we're going to talk about Dr. Aphra. I know we haven't talked about Dr. Aphra very much here on our podcast, but she's actually an archaeologist in the Star Wars universe. Was hired by Darth Vader. You would consider her kind of like a reckless, even more reckless Indiana Jones, hired by Darth Vader to find artifacts. Okay, so she's getting a kind of like a story, but an audio storybook, I guess you would be called. And the intro to it is called the persona. Hold on, let me bring it up here.
Non grata.
Right. It's actually by Sarah Kuhn is the author. And it's called the Dramatis Personae. So pretty much these are the people in the play, right? The characters in the play and a description of the characters. And so I posted the Dramatis Personae on our Facebook page or no, and our Instagram page with the I guess I put on there in true Disney Star Wars style. Shit on you, Sarah Khan. Right. So these are some of the highlights. Remember, these are the characters in the play and a description of them.
Okay.
Padme Amidala, the in quotes good former queen and senator of Naboo. So right off the bat, I was like, what do you mean? I mean, what was not good about Padme Amidala?
She has bad taste in men.
Oh my
That's-
gosh. I hear some of your comments on this, Sarah.
I want to know too. Like, why is that in quotes? That's
Is it one of those weird things where it's like chaotic good and neutral good and stuff like that? You know what I'm talking about?
See? So I did a little research on the Dramatis Personae and this author. This author writes in first person. So I had a conversation with somebody on Instagram saying that this was in the words of Dr. Afra, and she's a smartass. And I said, it can't be in the words of Dr. Afra because the author said that she was writing in first person. If this is the case, then the character, Dr. Afra, if she wrote the Dramatis Personae, would be writing in third person. And when you're writing a book, you don't switch back and forth from third person to first person and back to third person again throughout the book. So you either go first person or third person. So the whole book is in first person. I would consider the Dramatis Personae as a narrator and not in the third person. So that means that this is directly from the author. The author also describes Luke Skywalker as a humanoid who is supposedly important for some reason. A humanoid, not a human, a humanoid.
Real quickly, just getting away from the first and third position.
Yeah.
So Dr. Afra was hired by Darth Vader. At what point in time in the universe, like in the Star Wars?
So I'm thinking, gosh, I'd have to go back and do a little bit more research on Afra. I think this is getting closer to the Empire Strikes Back time frame, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up real quick.
I mean, maybe going back to the Padme thing, maybe if it's written in the point of view of somebody who was hired by Darth Vader, they're going to say, oh yeah, she was good, but not from Dr. Afra's point of view. Like from everybody else's, she was good. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, if that's literal, then boo. Right?
Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point, Sarah. I mean, from everybody has a different point of view, right?
Yeah.
Maybe to the author, Padme wasn't all that good, right? Okay, I'm trying to find. I think Dr. Afra was born 24 years before A New Hope. But let me make sure of that.
I mean, I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm wondering if any of these descriptions are at any point in time influenced by her employment, by her employer, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering, like, if she's writing this, stuff
So
knowing Luke Skywalker or knowing who Padme is to Darth Vader, right?
Uh-huh.
Which
um,
I don't know if you would necessarily know that in the story because Darth Vader did a pretty good job about killing everyone that had that connection to Anakin Skywalker.
True.
But even then, like if this is Doctor writing on the take of Luke Skywalker is supposed to be important, like your fucking employer's son, dude.
Mhm.
Like what do you mean he's supposed to be important?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious, like what state of mind they're in, like when are they writing this, uh, or is this just a fucking jumbled soup again, just to put out new content to be controversial and piss people off and have people defend it?
Okay, Dr. Afra was born 24 years before the Battle of Yavin. So she's almost the same age as well, she's probably about 20. She's 24. And Luke was what, probably about 19. She's about 5 years older than Luke.
Luke was supposed to be
Uh,
17 on Tatooine.
17. So about 6 years. She's about 6 years older than Luke in A New
Seven,
Hope.
bitch. God damn you.
There you go.
Oh god.
But I guess that's where I was curious is it the author writing the dramatis personae or is it Dr. Afra? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, um the other one was Han Solo um says he's actually useless.
Bit. Sorry.
Always claims to save the day. He's actually useless.
Kind of helped Luke Skywalker blow up the Death Star a little. Maybe that's what Dr. Afra's upset. He's useless. He was successful in helping destroy your boss's super ship station.
All right.
That's no moon. That's a battle station.
That's right. They also say that Chewbacca is Han Solo's very loud Wookiee sidekick and no match for her Wookiee, in her opinion, I guess. 3PO is a simpering 000 doppelganger, and R2D2 is a full-heartedly BT doppelganger. And Boba Fett inspires fear in the hearts of all except for our intrepid heroine, Dr. Afra. So I was kind of like, when I read that, I was a little like, interesting. Um, it seems like, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't know what you guys think, but for the most part, the original trilogy characters have been getting a lot of shit recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what kind of prompted me to start posting the pictures that I have recently, making little art pieces with the music, John Williams score sheets, and putting the characters in front of them, especially from the original trilogy, or pretty much exclusively from the original trilogy, because I think they deserve a lot more respect.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That kind of got me a little upset there. To me, if I felt it was very disrespectful, but could be part of the story. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
hmm Yeah. I hope
Yeah.
it's
Oh, go
written.
ahead.
I mean, is it written in first person
It's
perspective?
written in first person.
Okay.
I went to Sarah Kuhn. There's an article she was on with a reporter, and they asked, "Are you writing this in third person, first person?" And she said,
Yeah.
"I really enjoy writing in first person. This Dr. Afra audio book is going to be written in first person because that's the way that I like writing my characters."
Okay. So I mean, if it's Dr. Afra, talking about these characters, and I can understand the descriptions, but
Doesn't sound like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. In first person, she wouldn't be referring to herself as our intrepid heroine.
right.
Be
She would
talking
be
about herself
me.
that way.
Yeah.
She would just say me. Yeah.
Unless she's weird. Not weird, but unless she does talk about herself in third person. I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know either.
I just don't like this shit just doesn't make sense, Like if and I know we talked about it with, the High Republic writers and such kind of dogging on season 2 finale of Mandalorian and
To be fair,
but
they're in the same company, so why release it at the same time then? 2 cents. Go ahead, keep going.
well, I mean they're different projects, so I mean it's not an impossible thing, but I mean, you're right. If they want to space out getting their money, but again, like kind of with respect to that, now talking about this, it's like, why do they have their own content, dogging and talking shit about others of their content? Like it doesn't seem like a successful business model unless it's written under the guise of being a parody.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you mentioned as the High Republic in itself, like. It's like, okay, here's the original trilogy come out. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's awesome, but Darth Vader is such a fucking badass and blah 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 and all this. And then it's like, what's your response to, continuing the Star Wars brand? I'm gonna make another character in the same galaxy, just talking shit about all of them.
Yeah.
And people are gonna like that, right? It's like, I don't think so, because they just spent money saying why these people are awesome, and now you're gonna expect them to spend the same money on having an account of someone talking shit about them and why they weren't these good people or they weren't these heroes or heroines or anything like that. Like it doesn't make sense. And I know we've talked about this before and it just seems to be coming up. It's like, where is the identity of Star Wars right now? Like, where is the identity? What are they trying to do? What are they attempting to accomplish short of these just weird motives all over the goddamn place? Like, they keep on shitting on like original trilogy and stuff. Even Star Wars PR has like whoever is controlling the social media accounts is like not mentioning certain people that belong to like different sects of Star Wars, right? Like, different times of Star Wars, different eras of Star Wars. It's like, is this like some motive that they have to essentially, that Star Wars of the old, it's no good because we say it's no good, and you're gonna follow what we're doing now and make you think it's better? Like I don't, they're so all over, like they're all over the place. It doesn't make sense. And even then, the new stuff that they're writing isn't any good. So you sitting there telling me that you should buy more of this stuff, and we're gonna talk shit about the old stuff? It's like,
but it's
like,
gonna be bad.
yeah, it's like doubling down on how terrible we are, and how the other stuff was even worse. It's like, do you not want my money? Do you not want people to talk about this? Do you not want people to continuously spending their money and time and effort into watching whatever the fuck you're doing going forward, whether it's a new movie, whether a new show, new books, new series, whatever? Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical.
Yeah. So that being said, that was very well said. Micah, I have a definition for you guys. Okay. The definition is disacknowledge. Disacknowledge means to refuse to acknowledge. And my question, counsel, is it time to disacknowledge the High Republic? Not denounce, because when you denounce something, you still acknowledge its existence. You just don't go there. I'm saying, should we disacknowledge, to refuse to acknowledge its existence? I don't know. Like you said, Micah, it's really bad, and I don't know if I want to go. I still haven't finished Light of the Jedi. Issue 4 of the comic came out, and I was laughing actually through half of it. It was kind of stupid. And I can touch base on that, but I know we're running out of time, and we still have about 3 or 4 topics that we're going to go over, but we'll carry that over into the next podcast. But just some food for thought for you guys. Is it time to disacknowledge the High Republic? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think so, but I think we're going to keep talking about it anyway.
Well, what's that saying about not doing anything when you see evil present? You're just as bad, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
The reason I say that is because it's like, I mean, obviously I think we have to acknowledge that it's here, because it seems like maybe there is this internal fight, this internal beef going on right now with the future of what Star Wars is going to be. I think that's even probably another reason why we haven't gotten like a movie, not even the mention of one yet. And it's been some time, and they were sitting around on their hands for some time with, this pandemic still going on and everything. At the very least, here's a great idea. Like, it might be a couple of years, but we got this new idea for this new Star Wars movie kind of thing, I think there has to be some kind of internal beef going on. And the thing is right now, these people that you want to choose to not acknowledge are winning because they seemingly have, I dare say, the power underneath Kathleen Kennedy, but they also have the power of social media, because it seems like the same people who are saying that this is good were probably also the same people that demonized Gina Carano, the same people that are attempting to demonize and get rid of, anyone whom doesn't share the same opinion as their own. Right? And I think we have to acknowledge it, for the reasoning is that maybe if not enough mess is not made public about this, that people do not like what they're doing with Star Wars, that they will continue to do it, and then Star Wars that we knew and love will cease to exist.
So that being said, Sarah, how do you feel about what I want you to comment on Mike's
I mean,
because I mean that's
if y'all want to keep
that's
talking crap about
there.
Light of the the High Republic, we can keep
Wait,
talking
say that
crap
again.
about
Start over.
if y'all want to keep critiquing the High Republic like we have been, and reviewing the interesting stylistic choices that they make, I will keep doing it.
See, that's the thing. I'm not here to talk shit about it.
No, and I didn't mean it in that way.
And I'm not saying that you are.
But it came out.
I'm not saying that you're saying that either, because I know we have also received those public comments.
Yeah.
With some of your posts, with some of the posts done from the podcast page on Instagram, but even some of your comments. It's like, oh, are you just one of these groups trying to get notoriety and fame from talking bad about it? It's like, no. I hope that they stop making shit quality stuff and give me some good goddamn content. Like, I hope they improve their game. I'm not here to talk shit about it. I'm here to give my opinion about it. And right now, they're not doing good. They're not doing what we've always known Star Wars to be. And that's not to say it can't be something new.
Yeah.
But so long as that something new is something good. And where the fuck is that? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any promise of it. I haven't seen even the slightest inclination that the writers, the people making these decisions, even give a shit what we had to say about it. Okay. Because they're seemingly saying, like, I mean, where you have some of them more or less like saying, I don't care about the fans. Like, we've seen what's happened to people like that in the past. People who don't care about the fans, who are not writing for the fans anymore, they end up losing their job because their book doesn't sell.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to be before that, at the very least, conversation? I'm not wishing people to get fired. I'm not wishing to always have to need to talk shit about this content. But I am here giving my opinion and saying that you need to do better.
Yeah.
You have the power of the pen from the Star Wars side. You need to do better.
Yeah.
What you're giving right now is not Star Wars content. It's some fucking Disney and Friends horse shit in the Star Wars galaxy.
You know what I think might be the problem, guys, is this. Back when, well, not just that, Micah, but I think really on the creative side is that when George Lucas created Star Wars, started writing it, started thinking about it, creating this whole universe, literally, I think that the Rian Johnsons of the world and the High Republic Story Group and the Pablo Hidalgos and I think that their problem is this. They ain't George Lucas, not even close. They're writing for themselves, just like George Lucas did. But they ain't on the same level as George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like putting us three on the basketball court up against like Michael Jordan in his prime. We ain't gonna hold water to that. You know what I mean? Three of us against Michael Jordan, we're gonna get toasted. And that's what's happening here, I think. The talent level is just not there. Even though they're writing for themselves and not for the fans, okay, so be it. But guess what? Your talent ain't there enough to get the fans, at least this group, interested in what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like Micah said, you need to do better.
Well put. Both of you.
Right. And so, like I said, we have a couple of we have about 1, 2, 3, actually about 4 or 5 things that I wanted us to talk about today, but we went a little bit over. I know, Micah, you got to start getting ready for work. And I think we're going to wrap this one up. I always want to leave us on a high note. This is my high note for this podcast, episode 90, is that I think it's literally 2 weeks until May the 4th and the Bad Batch comes out, which I think the Bad Batch is going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be good content. And I think we're going to have fun talking about it. And we also have May the 4th. I actually requested off May the 4th. I don't know if you guys did. Maybe we can do some giveaways or something like that. We'll see what happens. But
anyone who publicly says the High Republic is dog trash.
Anyone who can prove one part of the High Republic is actually good quality.
But what's not right with it? What's wrong with the writing?
More of a challenge. I think that's more of a challenge.
But what's wrong with the writing?
You
just don't like it, okay?
But why? But what about space being secure? Sorry.
Just because this and this fill in the blank, you don't like it, right?
Why? Okay. The conversation started. Tell me why you don't like it. List reasons. Well, why?
Yeah.
Listen. Was it? Listen, bitch. I just. No.
You are right. Disney, Micah, the overlord of Disney, tells me I like it, so I must. All right, guys. Well, I'm looking forward to the Bad Batch. May the 4th coming around the corner. I'm going to continue posting original Star Wars, John Williams music, along with original trilogy characters exclusively until I ran out of sheet music and trilogy characters coming up. So look forward to seeing more of that on our social media pages, and of course intermittent with clips of this podcast until we have our next one. But who's gonna Sarah, you're gonna sign us off today?
Yes. So this has been episode 90 of the Force Choke podcast. We are the council and we have spoken.